Is the woke economy emerging? By that, it seems that some people are making money by just selling a regular product, but saying this is anti-woke, and people are spending their money based on that label. Is it really that simple? Maybe. Let's talk to Scott Baradell. He heads up Idea Grove, a marketing firm. Have you seen an increase in companies that are going out of their way to make sure the customer knows that they're anti-woke?
Yeah, absolutely. An example is the Daily Wire, obviously a media organization, but $22 million they made last year off of their products, over a tenth of their revenues. That's things like novelty items like dog bowls.
Well, hang on. Let me interrupt you. Do you think the average person knows who the Daily Wire is? I mean, just because they know the awesomeness of WBAP doesn't mean they're plugged into all these outlets. But that's the online platform that the biggest name, I guess, would be Ben Shapiro in it. And then Jordan Peterson has recently joined forces with the Daily Wire over the last year or so. And so they do a lot of content and putting out shows and stuff, but then they've started selling things on the side. Specifically anti-woke. Now, one of the things they have is like an anti-woke shaving kit. How can a shaving kit even be anti-woke?
Well, that was a reaction to the fact that Harry's Razors had stopped advertising on the Daily Wire because they didn't like some of the content that Daily Wire. So it's kind of a protest to that. So I think the Jeremy's Razors model is very similar. Their tagline is, shaped like a man, like not a manifesto, something along those lines. So, yeah, it was a reaction.
So would you recommend someone who is in the retail space maybe experiment with this? If you sell shoes, maybe you can sell anti-woke shoes, or I do a radio show, maybe this could be the anti-woke afternoon show? Well,
you have to know your audience really well. I think you can have values that skew conservative or liberal, but once you get into things like anti-woke, you're getting to a very niche audience, and you better make sure that your audience that you're going after is going to that's going to work.
No, I get it. Like it might not. It'd probably work good if you sell like shotguns, but not so good if you sell like purple hair dye.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So, do you think this is a trend that's going to last, or a trend that's going to fade out because the novelty's only going to last so long?
Well, it seems to be expanding just in terms of people buying based on their values and their politics has been expanding over the last decade, and it's only increasing. Look at things like the Bud Light fiasco they had last year that hurt their brand. There have been reactions like Ultra Right beer to that. There seems to be no end to it. It just seems to keep mushrooming.
I like that example of the Ultra Right beer. That was pushed by the girl who went viral here from Dallas. The girl that MFer's not real when she got kicked off the plane. She did like a post where she's in a bikini, looking fantastic by the way. But she has Ultra Right beer, and then I didn't even know Ultra Right beer existed, and I did some research. It really is a beer that just says, "Hey, it's made by right wingers. Buy it." Yeah.
And I think the reality is that for most products, you're going to go by the quality of the product. But if people have been surveyed and asked if you think two products are basically the same quality, would shared values or politics move you towards choosing one over the other? And over 70% of people said yes. So if the quality is about the same, a lot of people will go in the direction of their politics.
Well, I like the idea of my money going to people that don't hate me. But also, I don't want to have politics every time I go pick out a shampoo or what I'm going to eat for dinner. Politics may be too ubiquitous at some point.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are turned off by it. I think ultimately these kind of products are a kind of niche product. And what we typically advise our clients is, hey, if you want to support sustainability, a lot of people support that. You just don't have to be talking about climate change because that's political hot button. If you want to represent diversity in your marketing and things like that, that's fine. But that's different from talking about DEI, which is a hot button. Why do you, step on these landmines if you don't have to?
Right, I hear you. So what are you guys doing over at Idea Grove? If someone needs help with marketing, can you help them with that, Scott?
Yeah, that's what we do. We do PR and marketing, mostly for manufacturing and technology companies.
I got to tell you, man, there was I was grocery shopping, and there was a bunch of tortillas on a rack, and one of them said extra gluten. I'm like, I'm buying that one. I want extra gluten. Thank you very much. Scott Baradell from Idea Grove.